Hey everyone, Andrew here from a Tale of Two Hygienists podcast. Yes, you are on the right feed, but no, this is not a normal show. I wanted to let you know right now that what you are about to hear is not suitable for work. It is likely also not appropriate for children. If you are sensitive to racy topics, go ahead and hit that delete button right now. You might not like this episode. But now that you've been warned, please welcome to a special RDH Rant Takeover episode with Heather, Anna, and Liz.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of RDH Rant Takeover, your not so stuffy, a little raunchy, yet informative podcast. I'm your host, Anna, and joining me today are the usual suspects, Heather and Liz. Guys, say hi.
Hey. Hello.
Hey. How are you guys doing today?
We're here.
Yeah. Hanging in there. Yeah,
It's
I
hot.
hear you.
I'm tired. We work
I hear ya.
Monday. Yeah.
Yep.
Hanging in there.
So it's that time of year again where all the new grads are flooding into the workforce and they're all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, only to feel unprepared for the real world, discouraged and disappointed. So this episode we're dedicating to all of you new grads. Liz, you had put a post up in Rant
I did.
for possible advice for our new graduates to help kind of ease that transition from school to the real world.
Yeah.
We did get a lot of responses, and we hope that maybe this podcast might help you ease into the world.
I was really
a lot of great
surprised.
responses.
Yeah. I was gonna say I was really
Mhm.
surprised. Like I expected a lot more smart-ass remarks and comments.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
But it was
especially
all
with the theme of our
genuine.
group. Mm-hmm. No, yeah, I expected the same thing. I expected a lot of smart ass comments like, run or
Leave.
get a degree in something else or something. But we can really be a community when we pull our shit together and want to help each other, which I think is really kind of, what it's all about. It's like, well, once you're here, we might as well fucking help you.
Exactly, right?
Figure out how to make the most of this.
Do you guys remember when you were a new graduate, like how you felt?
Oh
I remember walking into my
Oh,
first
yeah.
job, and I'm going to date myself. I'm old. But anyway, I remember walking into my first job at a hygiene school, and they hand me like 10 charts, and they're like, here are your charts for the day. Have fun. That's your room. And I was like, what do I do? There was no training, nothing. It was just like, go. And what you did in 4 hours in hygiene school, go do that in 45 minutes. Like, and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like,
Yeah. I remember like being ready to shit myself.
mhm.
Like everything went out the door. I had forgotten everything. Like anxiety set in, and I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do?
Yep.
What do I do?
But I actually was surprisingly, like, I adjusted really well, I have to say. Like, I really didn't get discouraged or anything. I mean, I eventually left that office only a few months later because I realized it wasn't a fit. But I felt like part of being a new grad is getting rid of that, what you learned in school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's certain things,
Yes.
there's not someone checking every step of the way. It's up to you. Like, and if you miss something, it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, and things like that. Like, I think new grads come out like, oh, I have to be pure perfection. And it kind of throws them off a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and I think maybe with this huge hygiene shortage that's been going on since COVID,
Yep.
I think we're just wanting to like give our best wishes because we're hoping they're going to come in and relieve us,
Yes.
at least with like subbing or
Mm-hmm.
being a co-hygienist to help relieve some of our stress.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, I can't really say that I have that issue. My office actually just hired like another hygienist. We're actually doing great, but we see it every day, the squeeze
Yeah.
of the hygiene shortage.
Yeah.
So
I laughed as I was leaving today at work because I got fake fired because I there was a big treatment plan and the patient had already left, and I poked my head in my manager's office and the dentist was sitting there, and I said, oh, I forgot to add a cone beam to that treatment plan with the implants, and they both were like, well, you're fired. And I was like, ha 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 ha, good luck finding another hygienist. Bye.
See you tomorrow. Bye.
I'm like, do you promise? You promise?
That's okay. I was like,
you're
really?
firing me?
Am I? I'm leaving. I'm really leaving. Bye. Have fun tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, and that's just it. It's like, have fun finding a new hygienist. And so now we've got this new crop and they're making their way into the workplace, and I'm seeing the panic posts on social media, help. How do I do this? How do I structure my time? How do I fit all of this into an hour or 45 minutes? And they're really, like Heather said, they're really bright-eyed and bushy-tailed because they haven't been jaded yet.
Yes. I will say this.
Yes.
To spin off of that point, when I used to be in charge of hiring and training hygienists, I loved new grads because they weren't tarnished yet. They were like so moldable and so like eager to learn, and I loved that about them. Like some of my best new hires were new graduates. I love them.
When I worked in the perio office, I didn't have hardly any experience. I think I had only been working for about 6 months, and that was like 1 day a week. So I told her straight up, I said, look, I'm a new grad and I only worked 1 day a week. I know you're a perio practice. It's a bit more advanced. And she said, I actually kind of prefer new grads because you guys are more moldable and you don't have bad habits yet.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
So true. The only thing that I will say with new grads that's a little difficult is it takes, let's be honest, it takes about 5 years to perfect removal of calculus. Like that's acceptable, I think. It takes a while to develop that skill to, I don't know, somewhat of an acceptable thing. And that's fine. But that's the only thing with a new grad is that, and they're so down on themselves about it. Like, oh my God, I miss calculus. And it's like, it's fine. It's calculus, not cancer. You get it next time.
Yeah.
Who cares,
Yeah.
But like, because it does take a little bit for them to get into that mode of realizing, or understanding how to get that calculus out.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely you perfect your skill
Of course.
and learn, different techniques and that school was not the end all be all. And somebody said you gotta be flexible.
Yes.
That was one of the things.
That's actually the best advice.
Yeah. And you gotta be flexible. Like you can't just, and I am guilty of this. I'm going to just say it. I am guilty of this. My first full-time job, I had temped for a year. And so then I get this new job and I'm like, well,
yeah,
you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. This is how you're supposed to do it.
Exactly.
And I'm sure like the other hygienist just wanted to like stab me in the throat. And I don't blame her now. But you got to go into the real world job and know that school is school and the real world is a real world. It gives you a base. It gives you the education. But things are so much different in the real world. And you got to be flexible. Take your base that you learned and be flexible and go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that was a really good advice that someone...
I remember a post we had in Rant once that someone was saying that, she was a new graduate and she took over for, the hygienist that had been there for 30 years, who did perio charting throughout the years, which is great because we see that a lot where there's no perio charting.
Yeah.
But she was complaining that on the maxillary anterior, she put 323, 323. And she knows that it's really, 212, 212. No. And it's like, but who cares? That's
Nobody
what
gives a shit.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, you can't come out of school being that rigid where, if you probe and everything's fine, put 323. Who cares? It's a healthy pocket.
Right.
It's like, it doesn't have to
Anything
be
3 or below. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect.
It doesn't have to be perfection. But that's what they drill into us in school, that you have to be perfect. You can't be within, more than 1 millimeter departed from your professor. And it's like,
no one's coming behind you to check. No one. Literally
exactly.
no one.
No one gives a shit. No one gives a shit, honey.
I mean, like, I'm glad that they do that because they teach you your skill and they drill it into you and it gives you good ethics and morals. But when it comes down to it, a 1 millimeter difference in a perio chart is not life or
No.
death.
Or even
Especially
a 2.
if
If it's a 1 or a 3, who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's not a pocket.
Anything 1, 2, or
Yeah, who gives a
3, I don't even like chart. I'm like, I just am looking for the 4s, 5s, 6s.
exactly.
Is there a change?
Bleeding. Yeah.
Is there a change? So I think one of the biggest things that, and I feel like everyone has this story, is, you know, 2 things. Your first job out of hygiene school is going to be the worst job.
Yes.
I mean, that's just like, it's going to be the worst.
Yeah.
You're going to
It's a
get in
given.
there. Yeah. That's just what it is. And you're going to learn so much. And each office that you go to, that's a shitty office, you're going to learn lessons of what you won't accept, what you don't like. I mean, just like little things and big things. But I think like the biggest thing that people were saying was to temp right out of school. And even though that is so freaking scary, I mean, temping's scary for me now. And I've been doing this 8 years. And I still am like, you know, nervous Nelly walking into a place where I don't know their protocol. I may not know their software. I don't know what the instruments are going to be like, and so on and so forth. So temping when you're first out of school is really, really freaking scary. But you learn so much. You learn so much.
Yes. And what I think the difference is between when you and I graduated, Liz, because we graduated close together and from the same school, and the difference people graduating now is we went and did temp work because we didn't have a choice. It was you hit the floor, you hit the pavement, you're taking your resumes, you're temping because there was no jobs anywhere.
It was saturated.
Oh, wow, really?
So it was saturated.
It was so
That's
saturated.
crazy. I didn't know that. I wasn't really on the market that, you know,
that's
5,
less
6
than
years
10
ago.
years
but-
ago.
So what was that?
Mhm.
Yeah, when did we graduate? 2014?
Yeah, and I was 15. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, and we were told like you go to all those shitty corporate offices that people tell you not to go to,
Mhm.
but you got to get stuff under your belt. And now they can go and temp because everybody needs a hygienist.
Mhm.
Where we were temping for different reasons, but I feel like getting in there and every day going to a different office, driving, you learn all the other softwares, you see where you want to work, where you definitely don't want to work.
Mhm.
You learn lessons, and I feel like getting your feet wet, I think everyone should have to temp the first year out.
Yeah.
Well, and then also with temping is, even if it, you know, it's not just an everyday thing. Like I feel like a lot of people find their office through temping. And
Exactly.
you go to a
I
place
did.
and you're like, hey, I really like this place. And then, you know, you make a connection with them and they put you on their roster and they keep calling. And that's kind of how I ended up in the office where I am, because I had been temping for them. And then when I stopped working at the perio office, I was going to go back to school and everything. And I said, hey, I'm just going to be here. Like, can I do like a long-term temp situation? They're like, yeah, how's 6 months? And I said, yeah, that's dope. That's fine. Like, let's do this. And then I ended up loving it so much that I can't imagine not working there.
That's awesome.
So temping is really a good gateway to get yourself into an office that you get to know the office beforehand. You don't go in blindly to a job situation where you are just, and we see it all the time. People will go and they're like, I accepted this job. It seemed like a unicorn office. I loved it. And then they're like, this place is a shit show. Like not even 2 weeks later, they're like, this place is toxic.
Yeah.
This place is awful. You know, like all these things are wrong. What should I do? I just started working here. So I think it's a good way to
and
avoid
I think
that.
new grads with the demand for hygienists, I think new grads need to be careful temping because they're going to want, those offices are going to grab them right away. They're like, oh, new blood.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We need someone. How does X amount of dollars sound and blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, okay, because you're like happy-go-lucky and just excited to have a job. But you really should, I feel like, temp and kind of interview. And that kind of leads us to the other thing that people said. When you go in for a job, you need to interview them too.
Of course.
Like you need to ask them questions.
Yes.
And I think as a new grad, you're probably green and you're scared and you're like, oh, I can't ask them. But you're going to find out what you need to know and whether you really want to work there or not is just by asking them questions. You need to ask like, how long are your prophy appointments? do I get a lunch? What happens if someone's late? You know, all those questions that you need to
But
ask.
I feel like
Yep.
if you are new, like you don't know what you don't know yet. And so if you go to that
Exactly.
first
Someone said that.
if you don't go into the first interview and you don't even know what to ask because you don't know what has been problematic. Yeah. So if me starting out versus if I were to interview now, it would be a completely different interview. I think I'd probably be asking more questions than they would.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know,
I think when I first started, I'm like, oh, wait, I can ask you questions? Oh.
yeah. I'm going to want to
You can
know
do
lots
that?
of things.
I didn't know.
Show me.
Yeah.
Show me your schedule. Let me see it.
Show me your instruments.
Yeah, let me see your instruments.
Yeah.
Let me see the schedule. Let me like talk to the other hygienist in private.
In private, yeah.
Is there a lot of absolutely nothing.
Run.
And
Run.
what somebody
No.
told me, and I think this was I think one of the greatest predictors and something that I looked for as I was interviewing throughout my career is there laughter in the office when you're there interviewing?
Mm,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah. Do they look like they get along? Are they laughing together? Are they having fun? And I've always taken that with me and just, kind of an observed behavior. Because I went to,
That's really good. I didn't
Yeah.
think about
well,
that.
I went to an interview once and did a working interview, and they prayed before they prayed in a circle before they started their day. And I was like, and I'm glad I did the working interview because otherwise it looked like a great office. They did a lot of local celebrities. No, I wouldn't ask, do you guys pray before your day? No, absolutely not.
Well, and for some people,
That would be fantastic.
was great.
Yes.
That would be
For me,
fantastic. But for a non-religious person, that's makes you awkward.
Oh my gosh, I felt so.
Well, you're already awkward,
Well,
but
I
it makes
am.
you feel awkward.
Yeah, but for a heathen like me,
Yeah.
mm-mm. Yeah. No,
Oh,
no,
yeah,
it's
no.
not. Even here, that I don't think that's normal. It was bizarre. So anyway,
I mean, my office, most people are religious there, and like, if something happens, they'll say a prayer and whatnot, and like, I'm not religious, but I'm not offended, and I still like sit there, and they don't make me feel awkward. Sometimes I feel like because me and then like another dentist is like of a different religion and celebrates different things, so I feel like they go out of their way to make sure that we're okay. And I think we're just like, you're making this awkward. It's fine. Go ahead and pray. Like, that's great. Love it. Yeah. Yeah.
yes.
Smack on the head, talk in tongues, get the snakes. Yeah. Dear Jesus, let his teeth fall out, and I got it all on 4. Praise the Lord.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, but the gist of the story is it was a good thing that you tempted
Yeah.
and got and you were there. So, that's not going to be a good fit for
No.
me.
I say tempt. Because
Tempt.
tempt
I know.
tempted
Sorry.
to me is
I
like
can't say it right.
tempted to me is like I was
Past
tempted
tense.
to do something
I was tempted.
like evil.
Temping.
temping.
Temping? Subbing.
Yeah.
Be a
I
sub.
was a sub. But that never mind.
A traveling. Like nurses.
Never mind.
Nurses.
Anna's on my wavelength.
I missed it.
I'm
Sorry.
a sub. Anyway, what's next, Heather?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
You guys are over. Yeah, you guys are over my head. Okay. I drank too much. No. So kind of the theme is know your standards. Even though you're new, you still know you took ethics, you took law, you took all of that. You know what's white, you know what's white and wrong. I know. Gotta whab it. You know what is right and wrong. And somebody posted, you cannot change others. You just can't. And so you may do things one way and another hygienist may do it another way.
Yeah.
You're not going to change her. So stay in your op and do your thing. Stay in your lane. You know, don't try to make her change, or she's better not make you change, but you can't change others. And if it bothers you enough, that was just like a huge thing through all of these comments. Everyone said, if it doesn't work, go to the next place.
Exactly.
You are not stuck. And I feel like so many of us, me included, felt like we were stuck.
Yep.
And you're not, especially right now. My God, take advantage of it.
Yeah. I think one of the big things, and it's really, really hard when you're a new grad, is sticking up for yourself.
Yes.
Setting boundaries, speaking
Boundaries.
out, not taking shit, because some of these offices will take advantage of you. They will exploit you. And that is the most absolute maddening part of being on these hygiene groups, is just reading about these hygienists who are absolute doormats. And I understand that there are situations where they can't leave because they need benefits, or because childcare, or you know, their hours or whatever. Like, I understand that there are some people who are truly stuck because of, you know, whatever reason, but oh my gosh, just stand up for yourself, because when you stand up for yourself, you are also standing up for all the other hygienists in our profession.
Yeah.
And
I think it was echoed.
yeah,
Don't accept 30-minute profies.
unless you're Anna.
Or, you know,
Unless you have an
don't
assistant.
accept-
Unless you have an assistant.
unless
yeah,
there's a very specific time where you can do 30-minute profies where you are a seasoned hygienist with a seasoned assistant, and you guys just know how to move
and mesh.
and it works.
Yeah.
And that's not very, like, that's rare, I guess, I feel like.
It is, yeah.
yeah. So don't
Definitely
accept horrible conditions, because you will get burned out, you will get resentful, you will hate hygiene, and you'll get jaded like the rest of us. I mean, my God, you know, we get online and we just like bitch and complain and moan, because it is a hard job and it is exhausting. But I feel like a lot of it is just, I don't want to say of our own making, because that's kind of victim blaming, but some of it is. It's like, if, you know, stand up for yourself. I know it's hard.
Yeah.
Or move on.
They said no is a complete
Yeah.
sentence.
Yep.
yeah.
And I know that's funny coming from my mouth because you guys know me personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I'm working
For
on it.
anyone who doesn't know, Heather does everything for everyone
All the
and
time.
has a hard time saying no. And all of us are always like, Heather, stop it now.
Yeah. Well, first of all, she's
I do.
But at the
making us
same
look
time,
bad.
we love you for it. But at the same
Yes.
time, we love you for
I
that, because you
know,
are
I
such
know. I try.
you have an amazing heart. But anyway,
All right, let's move on. Move on. So, kind of the same thing of like not putting up with shit from, you know, your OM and your boss and the dentist, and you know, you need to know what is illegal in your state and what's not, because they will have you do things that are not
Yes.
legal.
Yep.
So you need to know that.
and you also
But the-
picking your battles too. Like there's a
Yes.
difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you don't want to go head to head, because can't even think of anything right now, but you want to know where to pick your battles. Like if it's something truly important, then definitely defend it. Do it.
know what hill to die on.
Exactly.
Know what hill to die on, because you're gonna face a lot of hills.
Yes,
Yes.
which stems back
And
to
mountains.
being not so rigid. Don't be so set in your ways. Be moldable, you know? Maybe some
Yeah.
ways are better than
So-
others.
But also have to learn, and a lot of people have said this, that your coworkers are not your friends.
Nope.
Now, I've been lucky. I have coworkers that are my
Same.
friends, but
Yeah.
Yep.
not every office is like that. You, even though they may be nice to your face,
Yeah.
just proceed with caution. You're there to work, to get a paycheck.
Yep.
You doesn't mean you have to be like mean and cold, but you know,
Like me?
I see so many posts. Yeah, right. So many posts that people get sucked into work gossip
Mhm.
and politics.
Which is what I steer away
And-
from 100%.
yeah.
But some people view
It is
that as
hard.
being cold, like, and like distant. And I am. I keep a distance between me and my coworkers. I'm fun to work with. We have fun at work, but beyond that, it's not there.
Yeah.
I won't, except for Dr. Gooch. He's the only one that I will hang out with outside
Right.
of work. But other than that, I feel like there is that boundary because I've been burned so many times in the past by trusting someone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we'd hang
Yeah.
out, go to the bar, and then it would be this person said something about this person. It would be like drama that I'm like, nope, not getting involved.
Yeah.
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 And everybody's there to get a paycheck. And if they think something's happening that is going to interfere with their paycheck, you're going down.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the cold reality of it.
So one of my hard
Which-
boundaries is I don't friend my coworkers on social media.
Me neither.
I don't.
Hmm.
And now I do have one exception, and my current office manager, I worked with her prior, and then when I quit that office, we became friends on social media. And so
Mhm.
when I started working with her again, I wasn't going to be like, oh, I'm going to
Bye.
I'm going to block you or whatever. Even though I love my
Yeah.
coworkers, we go on outings, we hang out, we have fun. They're funny. They're great people. I would consider them my friends, even though, it says that your coworkers are not your friends. I would consider them my friends, but I'm not going to friend them on social media. It's just
No.
one of my boundaries, not doing it.
I agree.
oh, yeah.
It's not-
I've stepped all over
Yeah.
that. Like, I'm like, you're new? Hey, you want to be on my Facebook friend?
No.
Nope.
No. Not that. Not like that. But eventually, I mean, yeah, I mean, like, I'm Facebook friends even with my doctors.
I'm Facebook friends with my doctor, but we're close. We're really, really close.
Yeah, you guys are different.
Yeah, so it's like
Yeah.
a little different, but like anybody else in the office, I've chosen not to.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of my
Yeah.
boundaries too. I because something you say on social media could be misconstrued to be something. I don't want that kind of
Yeah.
scrutiny.
You just have to be careful.
Yeah.
And I feel like on my personal Facebook page, it's just pictures of my kids.
Which is mine's the opposite.
So, yeah,
I-
mine are all teenagers. They're going through
Yeah.
this life thing. So I feel like I don't post a lot on my personal page. In fact, the only reason I even have like Facebook is because of RDH
Right.
Rant.
Yep.
If it wasn't for Rant, I probably wouldn't even have Facebook. But, yeah, I mean, unless they wouldn't be offended by my kids. I mean, I am too sometimes, but I'm their mom. But also, like, don't throw other people under the bus too.
Nope. Stay in your
Like,
lane.
you don't walk into an office, you're the new hygienist, you're fresh out of school, and you see a little piece of calculus when you take their bite wings. Oh my
Who
God.
cares?
Your last hygienist did not get
Just
that.
go in there and get it.
And I'm going to get that.
My God.
Exactly.
Just get it. You don't have to
Yeah.
say
And
anything.
remember, it's calculus, not cancer. It's not killing anyone. It's okay.
Yes. Yes. Like, it'll be there the next time.
It's no
Yep.
big deal.
You can get it. Work
Do you
on
know
it.
how many times I've looked at like x-rays after SRP? Like, we don't take them directly after unless it's like a really hard case, but
Mm-hmm.
Right.
like whatever, their next recall where we take their bite wings, and I'll be like, oh my God, who did this SRP? And then I look, I'm like, oh shit, that was me. What the hell happened to me that day? Like, it happens to
You
all
were
of us.
over it.
But it
It
happens to
does.
It
all of us,
does.
and it's okay.
We all have, I mean, there's been times where like I was not able to do x-rays at the beginning of the appointment. So I cleaned teeth and then did the x-rays at the end. And I'm like, oh,
I've done that. Yeah, I did that. I
Yeah.
did that once, and I'll never make that mistake again because I went and looked, and I'm like, oh my God, this bitch needs SRP. Like, what? And I
Well,
didn't
I'm
see
like,
it.
how
I
did I miss-
probed, and she looked fine. But then I like see these X-rays after, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, if my probe readings were not catching that she had perio, she wasn't bleeding. I don't know what. She was a smoker, so that definitely.
Oh,
smoker.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
going to say smoker.
But I was getting
Well,
caught
mine
up
was
on
just like-
calculus and getting 3 millimeters, and I'm like, all right, you're fine. But
Yeah.
and I go in there like.
You're all good. No, mine is just like, I'll find a big boulder. I'm like, how the hell did I miss
Mhm.
that? And then like the doctor comes in and I'm like, I worked on that. I worked on that. As I'm laying the patient back, I'm like, let me dig this out really quick before the doctor comes in here.
Those X-rays were
But it's
taken before the
okay.
prophy. I swear.
Yeah. I worked on. So when I started this new job, the hygienist that worked there, she's retired now. I loved in her notes, she would put, tenacious subcalculus on the distal of
Mhm.
30. I worked on
Yeah,
it.
that's it.
Maybe residual.
Yeah.
You know what? Did the best I could. I've written that in my notes.
I've written
Yes.
that too.
Yeah. And it's okay for you to put that in your notes.
Heavy
like
tenacious
grads coming
calculus did the best I could.
Yeah.
Patient was
We'll
uncooperative.
update X-rays.
Did the best I could.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes.
And that's okay.
Patient was very sensitive.
Mhm.
Topical wasn't helping,
Yep.
Yeah.
It's okay to not get it all as long as you document.
And you tried.
Document.
And as long as you
And you
tried,
tried.
that's it.
And like somebody said, they can't be mad at you. You didn't put the calculator.
Exactly.
And it didn't get there overnight. And so it took 6 months or 4 or 3 or 20 years.
Yep.
So if you can't get it all out in one day, it's not because you're a bad hygienist. There's just so many different circumstances. And maybe you need to code them different. Maybe they're not appropriate.
Exactly. That's one of the hardest things with new grads, I have to say, is training new grads is the coding portion. Because in school we're taught you remove every piece of calculus in those 4 hours. If you have to bring it back again, you do that.
4
but
hours.
they don't tell you like there's different codes for these procedures. Like, so you're just sitting there like I have an hour to get all this calculus off. And that's it. No, if you are taking more than 20 minutes on a prophy, it's probably not a prophy. It's probably not.
You mean to scale?
Like
on the
like
yeah.
Like it's probably you need to code that differently. Either gingivitis treatment, SRP, something different.
Yeah,
it's not meant. A prophy is not meant to remove mounds and mounds of subgingival calculus. Like.
Yeah.
You got to code appropriately. And that's a hard thing for new graduates to really grasp because, again, in school, we were just taught, you remove it all and that's it. Do it. There's no coding class. Maybe we should develop that. I want to develop a coding class for hygiene curriculum. There should be one.
Yeah.
We should do CE.
SUNY Farmingdale, if you're listening to me, I would love to host. Just kidding. Go ahead. No,
Who?
No, that's what.
Sunny?
No, SUNY Farmingdale. That's where I went. That's where I went to college.
Oh, that's your college.
Yeah, college.
I think about
no, if they're listening and they want like
person,
I can do a coding class, but keep going. I'm sorry.
I would go.
Proming myself.
That was a few people's rants was the coding.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I wish
it gets confusing.
I wish they taught that, and I really wish that they taught that.
I do too. I mean, I always tell patients because they'll ask me questions about stuff, and I'm like, insurance is a language I do not speak. Like, you will have to talk to the ladies up front. Like, I don't, and I do get some of it, but a lot of it, I'm just like, I have no idea.
Honestly, I'm self-taught. I sat there and tried to learn different, of the local insurances, but that's a lot. It's a lot to do.
Yeah.
But I do instantly know oh, this needs pre-auth or that doesn't, or we can do this up to this age, or this insurance is going to give us problems with this, but it's all self-taught. And I feel like that is a portion that really should be taught in hygiene school along with the business side of dentistry.
Yes.
But it isn't. Yeah. It is what it is. So maybe someday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about patients? We talked a little bit about boundaries and standing up for yourself with your office. What about patients? Because I know that there were some people who kind of touched on how you relate to patients. I think one of the good ones is, and one of the things that we hear this over and over again is you can't care more about
than them.
The patient than they care about themselves.
And it's true.
That was hard as a new grad.
Yeah. Because you want to go out and save the world.
You just want to change the world.
Save the world, save the teeth. You want to do all the things, and
not me. Not for me.
I realized
it was me.
No, I came out of school you don't care, neither do I. Let's get going.
Yeah. Well,
that's your New Yorker. That's your New Yorker.
And working in perio right out of school really opened my eyes because a lot of the people were there because of neglect of their mouth. Now, some of it, and I am never, and this was something else that somebody said, practice compassion. I think it was Kayla. She said, practice compassion. Don't judge why they're there. Just be happy that they're there and we can help them.
They're actually in the chair. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's great. But I had patients who had multiple perio surgeries, And they still would come in every time. Their mouth was a disaster, a home care disaster. Even if I'm giving them all the tips, all the tools, telling them what to buy, what to use, showing them how to use it. And I had one specific patient who just made me realize that whole thing. Like, I can't care
More
anymore
than
he cares about
Yeah.
himself. And when I was
Absolutely.
getting ready to leave the office, I think he was getting ready to do his 4th perio surgery. And at what point do you just go,
Have
you know,
fun.
we're not,
Bye.
yeah, we're not doing this anymore because you're not compliant.
Yep.
Well, you don't, because if they're willing to keep doing the surgery, you just keep doing it to save the teeth. And
It's just so
I mean-
frustrating. But at the same time, it was very freeing once I realized, like, I can't care about this dude. I can't save him. He's got to save himself. I can't
Exactly.
yeah,
So,
Regina said, "It's not my mouth, it's yours.
yeah.
I'm just here to help guide you."
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's right.
You know, I have gotten upset with patients. I tend to be the grumpy old man whisperer.
Yeah.
And so, you know, they come in and they sit in my chair and they're, "Oh, I'm not going to do this and I'm not going to do that. And I'm a man," you know? And after, like, one day I just got, like, I'm like, "You need x-rays, blah, blah, blah." And he was just, like, fighting with me. I'm like, "You know what? That's fine. It's your mouth, not mine. Like, we haven't looked in there in about 2 years. So, you know,
See, that I won't
maybe you have
do.
an abscess, maybe don't."
That's where I draw the line. We have
Well,
yeah,
2
I know,
years
I know.
is our limit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have to have
Yeah.
some sort of limit.
Right.
Ours is 1 year.
Yeah. And ours is
Yeah.
2.
And it's like, if you don't want them,
so
then
then
go
the
find
doctor
somewhere
comes
else. A new patient
Yeah.
needs a full mouth series. It's not an option.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And my office is good.
Yeah.
Like, we try to find out why they don't want the x-rays.
Of
Usually
course,
it's financial.
and then you can always
so
talk
the
'em
doctor's
into it.
like, "We'll do it for free."
Mm-mm.
And they're like, "Oh, okay."
That we won't do.
Oh,
No, we won't do
yeah,
that.
we do.
Nope. Why?
But,
Why does dentistry always the one to give away free shit? Could you imagine going to the cardiologist and him telling you need an EKG and your insurance saying, "Oh, well, your out of pocket's $50 for the EKG," and you saying, "Oh, I don't want one." Your cardiologist is like, "It's okay, we'll do one for free." Hell no. Why does dentistry do that? It's another topic.
I don't know.
It's another topic.
It is. It is another topic. Because then the patient's going to get out of the chair. They're going to
Bye.
leave. And then
Bye.
they see all that money walking out the
No,
door.
bye. We don't deal with that. We will not deal with that. This is what
But-
we do, and that's it. Follow our protocol or
Yeah.
bye-bye. Like, I know, but
Yeah.
it's a totally different topic.
All right. So back
Yeah.
to
Well,
patients.
one day
back
I
to
just got-
patients.
Exactly. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let's
No,
go
that's
back
okay.
on track here.
Yeah. So another thing about patients is not taking things personally and realizing that anxiety
Yes.
and anxiety is rampant with our patients, of course, because it's the dental office.
Oh, yeah.
That anxiety manifests in a bunch of different ways. And some patients will
Yes.
sit down in your chair and they will cry. And some
Mhm.
patients will be mean, like super mean
Yeah.
to you.
Mm-hmm.
And it does feel personal. And
Yes.
sometimes
especially when they leave a
personal.
review.
Yeah.
Yes.
And sometimes it does get personal. Like they'll say, you
Mhm.
are doing this wrong, or you're doing this too hard, or, you know, that's not the way I've had it done before, blah, blah, blah. And that does feel personal, but you have to
That's
realize.
not the way Debbie did it. Debbie did it this
Yes.
way.
But you have to realize that these patients are scared and they're in a very vulnerable position with us. They're laying back.
Yeah.
We are like, their head is in our crotch. Our boobs are in their faces. And we are like,
thought they'd like
That sounds
that.
too vulnerable, Liz.
I kind of thought they'd like
you're
that.
making this sound. Yeah, you're not making that sound
and we
too
are
bad.
in their mouths. This is the vulnerable part. We are in their mouths with very, very sharp instruments, and a lot of them feel judged in those
Yes.
moments.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so,
Yeah.
just realizing that if a patient is mean, just like you said, you're the grumpy old man whisperer. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I fortunately tend to have a way with very nervous patients because maybe because I
too.
have anxiety myself, so I
And then we're
get
stuck
it.
with them forever.
Yes. But at the same time, like if I have a rapport with somebody with anxiety and they get to know me, I don't want to just give them to the other patient or the other hygienist because it's easy for me to
Yeah.
just be like, I don't want to deal with you, because I don't want her to have to deal with this particular difficult patient. And once they get to know you, they're not so difficult anymore. Once they get to know you and like you,
Yeah.
usually, sometimes you just get people who are just dicks.
Yeah.
But
You have to have thick skin.
Yes.
When I first started as a new grad, was like, oh my God, they didn't like me. Oh, they didn't talk. Or, I'm kind of that bubbly hygienist that you see in the movies, and I try to talk to people. And when people wouldn't talk back, or they were quiet or short, I was like, oh. Then I would sit them up and they were like a whole new person.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, well, the appointment was over, so the anxiety is gone.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned that it wasn't me. It was just their anxiety came out as being quiet or being grouchy or feeling vulnerable. And once you do get that rapport, like Liz said, I always know there's those patients that I'm like, okay, I'm going to run late today because it's a therapy session.
Yeah.
And I got to get the nitrous, and I got to, take the baby steps. And it can sound so annoying, and it'd be annoying, and you're like, oh, I'm going to run behind. But then I'm always at the end of the appointment, like,
you feel good.
You said, like, I'm glad I did that.
You feel good.
I feel
about
good
it.
because I did something for them to make them healthy, and they're appreciative, and they trust me.
And it's okay to talk to your patients. And it's actually, I feel like it's a relief to them when you acknowledge their anxiety and say, I know, that you're feeling anxious, or they, tell you, and then they kind of clam up. And so you get to the bottom of why. Well, I had this past experience, or I had this or whatever. And so acknowledging it and telling them, and I will tell my patients who I know that they are just like, just wound so tight. If you need a break, like, raise your hand. We will.
I'll go pee.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
I will give you
I'll put some
stress
notes in.
balls. We will take deep breaths together. Like, whatever you need to do to get through this, let's do it. And I will tell them, I've got anxiety disorder.
Me too.
I know what you are feeling right now.
Yep.
And
I hate dental work.
Yes.
And
that usually, like, disarms them when I say, I've got anxiety too. And, like, an actual, like, medicated and diagnosed anxiety disorder. So I know how you're feeling in this moment. And they're like, oh, okay. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
So
same thing. I know it's hard to believe because I'm like a cold-hearted person, but with no, I am. But with anxiety, like impatience, I'm actually really good with that because I have anxiety in the chair.
Yeah.
Like, I hate dental work. I currently have 5 cavities sitting in my mouth that haven't gotten filled yet because I hate it. I hate it. I do my own cleanings.
Nitrous?
No, it doesn't work on me. I don't know what it is. It doesn't work on me. So I get it. Whenever they're like, oh my God, I'm so anxious. I hate this. I'm like, so do I. I'm like, oh my God, I hate it too.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
like, they're like,
I always
really?
tell
I'm
them,
like, oh my
I
God.
like to be-
I cry in the chair. And they're like, really?
Wait, you don't cry. You don't have emotions.
No, I do.
No way.
I do. I'm telling you, I had to get 2 wisdom teeth extracted. The entire visit, tears down my face, shaking uncontrollably, where they were like, you cannot drive home. And I'm like, no, I'll be all right.
Anna.
But
I don't know who Gooch is, but I'm going to have to become friends with Gooch. So the next time you have dental work done,
he can video it. He can TikTok it. He will. He'll do it.
No,
He'll
look,
do it.
I'm like, oh, Anna, next time, like, when you have your fillings filled, like, what you need to do is, I like, want to be there and hold your hand.
Yeah,
And, like,
you can be
make
there.
you feel better.
Get you a weighted blanket, your little
Yes.
stress
Oh,
ball, put your
I hate it.
AirPods in.
I don't know what it is. I hate it. You know what it is? I have a problem with lack of control. And I know what's happening because I know the
Yes.
process and the steps.
Yeah.
So knowing that and knowing that I have no control over it freaks me the out. I hate it. Yeah, it's really weird. Bad. It's bad.
Well, I like to joke to relieve anxiety. So when I call someone and I'm like, hi, I'm, come on back. And they come up, I'm walking back. They're like, ugh, I hate the dentist.
I'm like, me too.
And I'll
Oh
say,
my God.
I know. No, I'll say, yeah. I'm like, well, I'm not the dentist. I'm the hygienist. But don't worry. I won't tell her you said that.
Yeah.
And they just kind of look at me like, oh, no, I didn't mean it. And I'm like, I'm just joking. Or they'll come in and be like, I hate it here. I'm
Me
like,
too.
God, me too.
I wouldn't be
How do you
here
think I
unless I
feel?
wasn't
I'm
getting
here.
paid.
I know. I'm here every day, like 8 hours a day.
This place sucks.
I totally feel you. And so then it just kind of like, then they're kind of like, oh, I just try to break things
Yeah.
up. But one thing I do want to read before we move on is what Kayla said was have compassion. Sometimes people are going through a rough patch and they neglect themselves. Don't scold
Yes.
patients
Mhm.
because they haven't been because maybe they couldn't afford it, or they have depression, or they're caring for other people and neglecting themselves. And I always, and this goes back to my mom, who always made sure my brother and I had dental care. And she neglected herself and always said she had horrible teeth, you know, root canals and, you know, just root canals that would fail and blah, blah, blah. And even in hygiene school, my mom would not come be one of my patients because she was so embarrassed of her mouth.
My mom too.
Like, I'm like, Mom, I'm not going to graduate. Like, I need a patient. Nope, you'll find someone. Even like as of like 6 months ago, she went to a different dental office to have all of her teeth extracted and get some dentures because she wouldn't come to my office because she was at one point in her life had been shamed so bad by a dentist because she was a smoker, because she had stain, because she had a bunch of root canals. So they just thought she didn't take care of herself. And she was so embarrassed and shamed that she refused to ever go back to a dentist, and she lost all of her teeth.
That sucks.
Because of it.
Yeah.
So you will never catch me scolding anybody or shaming someone. I'm like, you know, when was the last time, like new patients, was the last time you had an appointment? Oh, I don't know, maybe like 10 years. Oh, okay, no big deal. We're glad you're here now. We'll get you nice and healthy and get you on a schedule. Or, you know, do you smoke? Yeah, I do. Okay, hey, to each their own. You know it's bad for you. I've never met anyone who said they like to smoke. You know, if you want to quit, we've got information, but you know, until then, let's try this, and this. And people don't listen when you shame them.
Exactly.
They automatically shut down, and then you're going to lose a patient.
And then you're going to get a bad Google review.
So,
yeah.
Sorry. That's just like, I'm off my hill now, but that was just like, that's my thing. You don't shame people. Because it's already hard enough to come into the dentist. So,
and if you get a bad Google review, it's okay. We all get them.
Yeah.
We all get them.
Yeah.
Don't take it personally. Move on to, unless you're getting,
and you'll cry.
Unless you get like a bad Google review like every week, don't worry about it. Like if it's like once in a blue moon, you're okay. You're doing good. You're fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the office talking about a horrible Google review. And I'm like, oh God, that sucks. Like what happened? It was like against an employee and the doctor, and they were just reaming them. And I'm like, oh my God, that's awful. And then after like this staff meeting, everyone's like hovered around the computer, and I'm like, who is it? What happened? What? And they all just stare at me.
It's you.
I'm like, what? It was me. It was me. I was like,
I have one.
I just started bawling. I'm like, wait, it's me? What happened? Like, oh my God. And the doctor's like, Heather, it's
You started
fine.
crying?
It happens.
Oh my God.
Oh my God,
hell
yeah.
no.
I started crying.
I didn't cry.
And now I'm just pissed.
I was like, fuck that
Now I'm
bitch.
like,
I did everything I could for
me
that
too.
bitch.
I know.
Fuck her.
yeah, now I'm like, that
guy's
bitch.
a
But
dick.
then I was like, oh my God, like, why did she say such horrible? And it was lies.
Why do you
like,
hate? And you called
some
her and you
people
were like,
lie.
why do you hate me? No, I'm only kidding. No, you didn't do that. No, you
No,
didn't do that.
no,
Okay.
it wasn't that.
Okay, I'm just kidding.
But yeah.
Don't do that. But
So, but so we're giving all the tips, like, you know, the deep. How about just some quick, easy tips, like polishing
first? Yes. Do that. I started doing that on every patient, like literally in the last month.
Yes, me too.
It makes my life so much easier.
It is a lifesaver.
I love it. Love it.
I've been doing it for about a year now.
Yep.
Polishing first is a lifesaver.
It is.
Especially it removes plaque, the stain, and sometimes, yes, I'll go through and like if they have a lot of tartar buildup in the salivary gland areas, I'll go back through after I remove it. But such a time saver, a wrist saver. Like there is no specific order, even though they teach you that in school. When you get out, you can do whatever you want.
Yep.
I know people that don't even floss patients.
Me. Hello.
Like,
hi.
I forgot
You
to
can do
floss
what you
a patient
want.
today, and I was like, oh no, I forgot to floss. And then I thought, I'm just channeling my inner Anna.
There you go.
Yeah. The other one I saw was your mirror. Like if you polish, someone said if you polish your mirror, then it helps prevent like splatter from the Cavitron and all of that. I don't know.
This is for Jessica Lynn.
Yeah.
Don't use your mirror to place varnish. Just kidding. I love you.
Don't use
Your
your
mirror.
what?
Your mirror. There was a post about, it was a whole big thing. But anyway.
I saw it, but you said mirror.
Mirror.
Don't use your
Don't
mirror.
use your mirror.
Mirror.
Don't use your mirror.
Your mirror.
Your mirror.
Like your drawer. Your drawer.
Your
What
draw.
do you say? Your drawer.
No, I just say
Draws.
draw. And you say drawer.
Draw.
Get in the draw and get
Yeah.
get a mirror.
I also heard dipping your mirror in Listerine helps
Yes,
from it
fogging. Yes,
I don't know.
it does.
Mm-hmm.
Protect your ears. That's from Ashley. You all go deaf,
Retirement.
so get some sort of ear protection.
If I go deaf, I'm retiring. I'm not putting anything else on my face. I have loops,
Huh?
light. I have all this other shit. Fuck it.
Huh? What'd you say? Huh? Do your notes whenever like you're waiting on an
Yes.
exam. You can still talk to your patient.
Don't wait till the end
when
of
the
the
doctor's-
day.
No.
God,
Get
no.
out of
Like
there.
sometimes I know you're in a hurry, but you get those notes done.
Use
like, even
templates.
Just get them started.
Use templates. 99%
templates, yeah.
of your
Yes.
of your patients are going to be the same fucking crap.
yeah, just templates.
I
are
try to
great.
have all
Yeah.
of my note done except for the doctor's exam note. By
Oh,
the
I don't
time
do that.
doctor's in
That's up to
there.
him. That's up to him. I don't do his note. I ain't got time for that.
Oh no! What do you mean the doctor's note? What
Like
doctor's
what
note?
exam findings were.
Okay, no, he can do that.
What?
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I just put like it'll say
Like treatment.
exam, and I put the doctor.
Yeah, he can do
You don't
that.
put that
I
in?
don't need to do that.
that's part of our hygiene thing. I just put no decay or
Oh, I don't even do
decay
that.
on-
That's his thing. I don't even bother writing
Yeah.
don't decay.
Oh, really?
No. He writes his
I've
own
always
note.
done
Why am I
that.
going to write his decay? I'm usually on to the next patient though.
Yeah.
Well, you're
Yes.
Yours is a
okay.
little
You're
different.
So I'm
accelerated.
assisted. So he's doing his exam and
Mhm.
he's writing down what he needs to do. I don't know what he
Okay.
decides. So I'm on to the next patient already.
That's true.
he
for
can write
you.
that.
Okay, so I have the whole hour.
Yeah, so you can write that. Yeah.
As they're telling me, I'm
Yes.
typing it in and then putting it in the treatment.
I've
plan.
done like
Okay.
2 exams with Dr. Gooch like in the past year because like I don't know, it was like an extended exam and I was available.
Yeah.
And he's like saying all these things to me and I'm like, what? What? It was like the whole time. He was like 3, X5, 7, 12. I'm like, what are you fucking saying? I was like, I don't know.
What?
I don't
You
even
don't
know.
like fillings.
I don't know.
Oh my god.
He's like, oh no, that's a watch. I'm like, can't you just say a watch? Like, why are we going through? Like, I don't understand. So I was like, you need to get your own assistant. I'm done. Bye.
Oh, see, like I've already have my patient diagnosed before the doctor comes
I
in.
sometimes do, sometimes don't.
So I kind of know like what they're gonna say.
Mhm.
Sometimes they throw me a curveball
Yeah.
to keep me on my toes, but for the most part, taking care of your body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very important. This is hard on us. Make sure you go pee.
Yes.
Drink your water.
Yeah.
The
Mhm.
patients
Yes,
can
they
wait.
Yes.
can wait.
Shove some M&Ms in your mask if you need to.
And eat them like a
What was it?
horse.
It's just like it's like a horse grazing, like with the mask.
And every
on.
once in a while, you just
every once in a while
tap your mask
Lick
upward
that.
and just
Yeah.
shove a few down. You're good.
stick your tongue out.
Yeah.
Yeah, stick your tongue out. Grab some M&Ms that you have hiding in your mask. You'll live.
Exactly.
Patients will be okay. You're already 10 minutes behind. What's 3 more?
It takes 3 minutes to pee. If you have to pee, go pee.
Go
Don't-
pee.
Don't get a kidney infection. No job is worth a kidney infection.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
Everyone
Right.
can wait.
And make sure you're doing your yoga, you're exercising,
Wear loops.
chiropractor massages,
Wear
Or
loops.
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 Or loops.
And a light.
I have
and a
a
light.
saddle chair,
Mhm.
loops, light, saddle chair.
Saddle
like,
chair
It's
it numbs my vagina. I can't wear it. I
Me
can't
too.
use that, but go ahead. Yeah.
oh god, I have to
No.
like
No.
No.
yeah,
My labia
no,
go
I
numb.
always feel bad.
My
not
kitty
good.
cat cannot. Seriously,
No.
like, goes to sleep.
What is wrong? Like, is it just
No, we just probably
is
have
it like that post that Justin just did?
we probably have
Like,
bigger
you-
labia than you, Heather. Okay, thanks. Make us feel bad.
Why are you sitting on your vagina?
I feel shamed.
Why are you sitting on your vagina? You should be sitting
No,
on
the
your ass.
saddle
No.
chair goes up your vag. It's like up your
Yes,
twat.
I'm sitting. No, I am sitting on a saddle chair right now. Actually,
And I've tried different kinds, and they all make my vag go. It goes to sleep, like when your foot
It goes
to
bye-bye.
sleep. Yes,
Night,
like
night.
when your foot goes to sleep. And then when you stand up, and the feeling
This is
No. when you stand up, And then the blood rushes back to it. Like with your foot, it feels warm like you're peeing your pants.
Yes, yes, yes. On that note.
Anyway.
All right. Don't take a 1099. You're not a 1099.
Yes. Don't accept 1099.
Never stop learning.
Never
stop
Never
learning. Always do the CEs, magazines, research. Don't be a prima donna.
Stop not using a
don't know what-
Cavitron on people with pacemakers. But go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, be a team player, not a prima donna. If you want to know what a prima donna is, we have like an episode from last year. Go look that up. Keep your personal life private. Like, don't be like me and overshare with your patient your whole life story, because then when shit hits the fan,
They're gonna
and then you have
throw
to
it in your
explain it,
face.
yeah, just don't do it. Save for retirement, get disability insurance, malpractice, check your pay stubs, people. I like what Pat Mode.
Oh, I love her.
Most patients can recline.
They will. Tell them it's not an option.
They can and they will.
They will.
Yeah.
I promise you.
Yeah. Because it's awfully funny. The doctor comes in and just keeps laying them back and they're just fine. Okay. Number 20, fake it till you make it.
Nope.
Yeah.
Sorry, I yelled that.
No, but it's
That was
true.
what
That's
somebody
like
said.
actually the best advice. Fake it till you make it.
Mm-hmm.
Do your
Yeah.
thing.
Don't ever say you don't know how to do something.
Just you can do it. I remember the first
Yeah.
time I ever poured up an impression outside of hygiene school.
Oh, Lord.
It was like there was stone everywhere, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like one of those like chaotic chefs in like a kitchen. There was like powder everywhere. I'm
The
like,
Muppets.
yes,
The Mu-
that was it.
I'm thinking of the Muppet guy.
Yes.
The
And I
Swedish
sat there,
chef.
like mortified about myself, and then I was like, "Okay, breathe, get yourself together.
But you were
You
cute
can
in your
do this," and I did it. No one knew.
It was Crystal Van Cleef. She's so adorable.
love her.
I love her. Yeah, fake it till you make it. Never say you don't know how to do something.
I agree with her. You just do it.
All right, what were we going to end with?
Ashley.
Liz? Did we already say it?
Yeah. I don't have it pulled up, but Ashley, she said that one of the things
Our
was
admin. Wait, is it
rants.
Ashley Kier? Our admin?
No,
No.
Ashley
Oh, no? Okay.
Saulnier
No.
or Saulnier. I don't know how do you pronounce her name.
I'm
Okay.
horrible at pronouncing names, but she was super sweet.
Yeah.
Gave all the advice. And, she goes through a list of a bunch of things. She said, and number 4, most importantly, RDH Rant has been my source of sanity for the last 5 years. We all complain about the same shit, no matter what state or country you practice in. There will always be patients that suck and dentists you will never want to work for again. But this group of people right here have been a huge support, even when you feel like you're all alone.
Aww.
Exactly.
And I said, that just makes my heart so happy.
And you're not alone.
We have an-
Thing.
No, you're not
You're
alone.
not alone. Remember
no,
that.
God. There's like, 14,000 of us that all feel the same. And so it's it's a great group full of amazing people that help us get through life. So thanks for listening. And we hope we gave you some good tips to all the newbies out there, and maybe even some seasoned hygienists will get some takeaway from this.
Doubtful.
For more tips, tricks, and laughs, join us on Facebook at RDH Rant, but only if you're a hygienist, sorry. But don't worry, if you're not a hygienist, you can still catch all of our shenanigans on Instagram or TikTok. Love, peace, and brush your teeth. Bye.
Bye.